Dozens of concerned Rochester residents showed up at tonight's board meeting telling the board that they're against putting critical race theory teachings in K-12 curriculum. The board sat quietly and listened while residents shouted their opinions. But critical race theory wasn't even on the board's meeting agenda, and members told ABC6 News that they aren't even considering bringing the controversial theory into Rochester classrooms.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And one last question. In your bathroom mirror, showed your character instead of your reflection? Could you admire yourself?
Yeah.
Or would you be so ashamed you would have to look away?
Rochester residents and parents filled the conference room during the public forum portion of Tuesday's school board meeting.
You're laughing. That's funny.
The group organized through Facebook and signed up ahead of time to discourage the board from adding critical race theory to classroom curriculum.
They want to teach that America is bad, and they want to indoctrinate our kids, and I do not want that.
Several people spoke and often shouted their beliefs about critical race theory as well as other topics like mask mandates and equity.
Now you're flying a pride flag? There's only one flag, and it's that, the American flag.
That's right. Everyday pride. Everyday pride.
But critical race theory wasn't even on the agenda. Board members say it wasn't even a thought. Wasn't even something being discussed as an option for the district.
While people can come down and talk about anything they want to talk about, it is not something that is being taught or even discussed right now in Rochester Public Schools. Equity very much is, but not critical race theory.
The new superintendent said that most of what residents said tonight was just untrue.
We are not trying to indoctrinate people in Marxism. We're trying to teach kids to think critically.
Again, we want to reiterate that the school board confirmed.
We elected Obama for 2 terms, so anybody who has the thought that this is a racist country, that we have to get it right, is a completely leftist, socialist, Marxist. I can't even have words.
When we try to bring in a CRT into this school district, I think that's a huge mistake.
It is not equality. It is not equal chance. It's calling us out for things that shouldn't. I mean, I can't blame my little girl for Hiroshima.
I just think it's a load of crap. I think we're dividing our kids.
Monday's school board meeting was the first in-person meeting in almost a year, and as you've heard, dozens showed up to express their concern, mainly to talk about the district's equity policy and critical race theory.
It sounds like more information is needed on these topics. More information is needed on these topics. I want to communicate.
The main concern from parents was the equity policy resembled too close to the critical race theory and the policy's origin.
The question to you is, how did this even come about? Who decided that this is something that should be discussed?
The outcome of the meeting was to table the equity.
30 minutes.
Chaos in the middle of a JCPS board meeting. After board member Corey Scholl made comments about the district's racial equity plan.
Thank you for keeping racial equity as a part of the strategy moving forward in our future state. I stand behind that wholeheartedly.
And if I could just
do not want to hear your comments.
Security guards moving in to control the crowd as they erupted in shouts at board members who filed out of the room. Over a dozen were escorted out of the room, still shouting as they walked out. Others walking out on their own as security tells them they're in violation of state law by disrupting the meeting. The group frustrated JCPS wouldn't take public comment. The meeting was a work session for JCPS with an update on the district's strategic plan. The board's work sessions don't ever include public comments. Just before the meeting, the protesters gathered with signs out front to decry critical race theory. Critical race theory is an educational study around for 30 years about how institutions and systems oppress people of color.
In front of this, because
Our kids are at risk.
The group says they don't want JCPS teaching critical race theory in schools, calling it Marxist and divisive to society.
I think you all should know that critical race theory is not in the curriculum.
Board member Shaw saying critical race theory isn't in the curriculum, something the district has also previously said.
I'm not going to really back away from it. We do have a focus on racial equity. There is no doubt about it.
JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio, after the meeting, said he wasn't surprised by Tuesday's outburst.
They wanted to be heard, but there's a time and a place for that.
That we cannot shy away from the work of equity, which specifically outlines the fact that, yes, black kids matter.
Board members Diane Porter and Corey Shull also say the district isn't shying away from its focus on reducing the achievement